The left will never stop their agenda to take over America. You are their enemy, and they will not negotiate. Prepare yourselves. Welcome to the Blue Shark Show with your host, Mike Lang.
And from our great media source, New York Times, Biden to cancel $10,000 in student loan debt for borrowers earning less than $125,000. Now, when you go into debt forgiveness, that means the people that took out and signed that paper for the students for that debt is not their problem anymore, but now it's my problem. And they transferred their debt onto me again.
And I think that this is going to cause some issues within the Democrat Party, because after Biden started saying this, I saw a clip of Pelosi saying, well, the president doesn't have the authority to do that. That will take an act of Congress. See, he can only defer debt payments. He can't outright cancel it on his own. So he may get some backlash from his own party.
Well, let's hope he does. And, you know, Matt Rinaldi, he's the GOP chair of Texas, and he put out a tweet. It's pretty good. It says Harvard has $42 billion endowment. Yale is $31 billion. But Biden will tax truck drivers and plumbers to pay the student loans that built those empires.
This is just another way to enrich the educational scam that is the whole college industry, as far as I'm concerned. You know, this isn't, 1993 where everyone was encouraged to go to college, because pretty much if you came out with a college degree, you can get a pretty decent job. This is 2022. You've got, hundreds of college graduates with even higher education degrees working at Starbucks and such. And so we're pushing everyone to go to college, but now we're going to just give away $10,000, just give, it's just money. It's just money, but it's all going to just these rich colleges that already have, billions and billions of dollars in their banks. And let's be clear, it's not just your Harvards and your Yales. Your University of Texas has one of the biggest endowments in the country. So this is every university you see with these hallowed halls, these huge buildings. You know what? There's a reason they can afford those huge buildings, because they're soaking the entire rest of the nation in this scam that I call the college industry.
And if we're going to do something like this, I'm tired of paying for this crap. And some person's going to go to school for basket weaving and spend all this money. And while I worked, I had student loans. I paid it off. I had a 10-year note, paid it off early. I didn't expect anybody to pay it off except for me, because that's a loan I took out.
Now, has the Biden administration, I hadn't got to read their plan yet, do you know if this can apply to my Hustlers University enrollment that I've got? Andrew Tate's little thing. Do y'all know if that's going to qualify?
I don't know how he set it up, but, being that they kind of stripped Andrew Tate off of all of social media, I would say that's probably a no.
Oh, dang it.
But it does have the word university in there, right?
Yeah, hey, it's, some people could say I'm a doctor.
A doctor, yeah. We could call you a doctor. Well, maybe you got your THD?
THD, yeah.
You could have been that. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess it goes back and forth.
Yeah.
So, and maybe, just maybe, if you got your diploma from one of these diploma mills, it might cover your entire education in one fell swoop.
Yeah, up to $10,000, right?
Yeah.
So some of those are $10. Maybe you get your doctorate that way, Nate. There's always a way to do that and scam the system. That's what they're trying to do right here, where normal people would just go ahead and pay for their student loan, and they'd set a career path and their degree path for something that would actually make them money. And if you don't want to, you can go to trade school, right?
Or Hustlers University.
Andrew Tate, right? If you like the show, you like what we're doing, please go to thebluesharkshow.com and sign up for our member-only access at $4 a month.
Or how about you don't qualify for a student loan unless you graduate with a major that actually promises you a job or gets you a job or has a prospect for a job? Because, how many psychology majors can become psychologists? How many sociologist majors can become sociologists? So how about we give money to jobs that we actually need for the future, instead of just blanket saying we're going to forgive debt universally?
Or we just go with the system that we already have that says if your income falls below a certain level, you can get like $5,000 every semester to help pay for your education. I don't see why we have to do all this other crap on top of it. Like they say they want to help the the working class and they want to help all these people. That's helping, like y'all were saying, the endowments of all these major universities. We already have stuff in place. We have a social net in place, a safety social net in place to help people that are, on the lower side of the socioeconomic ladder.
You do. You fill out your FAFSAs, and then you have your Pell Grants and things like that are actually money from the government,
which are money from taxpayers. Let's be real clear.
Yes, taxpayer money. But these are above and beyond that. We can get into Pell Grants because it's almost the same thing, but we can go beyond that. But when you talk about canceling someone's debt, you're not canceling their debt. You're shoving it onto me and other taxpayers to take care of your bill.
And by transferring that debt, what you really mean is you're socializing that debt. That's really what it is.
That is exactly what it is. And the only argument that I can kind of see for this is that the Federal Reserve System and the fiat currency and the banking cartels have us in a situation where our dollar has no intrinsic value other than the value to which we all assign it. So therefore, it could be seen as by meaningless in the Fed. Yeah, but that's the only way I could see this making sense. But even that, it's like, man, we're all still using the dollar until something else comes along or we all start paying with Bitcoin. Then it's kind of what we're stuck with.
$10,000 in a university education now doesn't get you very far, is my understanding. And with the erosion of the U.S. currency over the past 100 and plus years, you're not getting anything for it, and they're just printing money like crazy. And this is just another symptom of our economic situation, that we're going to rearrange these deck chairs on the Titanic and think we're actually going to solve a problem for anybody. This is a feel-good measure that's going to stick it in the behinds of the taxpayers again, and going to drive the cost of higher education up more, because anytime you subsidize something from the government, it gets more expensive. So college prices, hey, everybody who are going to enjoy this one day, college prices are going up. Shocker. Because when you're subsidizing it, it's going to happen.
So the irony here is that these, people that go to school for useless degrees and then can't pay their student loans back, who oftentimes are driving cars they can't afford and, going out to eat all the time, but I digress. Those people's kids are going to be the one paying this back. That's the ultimate irony here, is like they're just passing this off on their own children.
So let's go to Elizabeth Warren, who's on tape talking to this guy in Grimes, Iowa, about the student transfer of wealth from basically the kids who aren't going to pay for it to us, the taxpayers who are going to pay for it.
Am I going to get my money back? Of course not. So you're going to pay for people who didn't save any money, and those of us that did the right thing get screwed.
No, it's not anybody got screwed. When we started,
of course we did. My buddy had fun, bought a car, went on vacations. I saved my money. He made more than I did. But I worked a double shift, worked extra. My daughter's work, she was 10. So you're laughing. Yeah, that's exactly what you're doing. We did the right thing, and we get screwed.
I appreciate
That's
it.
all right.
So that's exactly right. We do the right things, and we get screwed, and the people that go out and splurge and spend all their money get to be saved by the government, which is our taxpayer money.
Yeah, that guy really hit it right there on the head. And I love when people do this to politicians, especially, United States senators. They get in public and just say, hey, here's the facts. And it's like they're trying to gaslight these people. No, that's not at all what we're doing. It's like, just tell the truth, please.
If you like the show, you like what we're doing, please go to thebluesharkshow.com and sign up for our member-only access at $4 a month.
It's always nice to see these cloistered talking heads from D.C. get out into the public and actually interact with us regular people from time to time, because every once in a while you get somebody who really takes them to task, and it reminds us how important it is to have our First Amendment. You can't do this in China. You don't see people confronting Xi in China, but it sure is beautiful to see an American using their First Amendment with showing their displeasure with a useless U.S. senator, as far as I'm concerned.
Very useless. And he made a statement in there, and he said, am I going to get my money back? And Warren said, of course not. So he doesn't get his money back because, once again, he did the right thing. But it's for all the other people who signed up and couldn't do it the right way.